Well, of course I would be muted. Daggone it. Thank you, Wolfram. What would I do without you guys? I'm over here just talking to myself, which, as per usual, guilty. Guilty, guilty. Welcome, Wolfram, our fabulous mod, and Kathy Mitchell. Is there still no sound? Or can you hear? Oh, okay. Just making sure. There's a little bit of a delay, so it's always like, okay, did I unscrew it up? Did I, unpress the button? Which, for the love of Cheetos, I mean, let's be real. I am semi-professional and, semi-profitable, which is all good in the morning, and I'm dressed. So, it's a lovely day as we just try to human together and get out of this fairly unscathed. Our first story is that the FBI has unearthed 2,400 more JFK assassination files after Trump's orders. So maybe we will finally get to a truth, the truth, something sort of like the truth, Schrodinger's truth. I don't know. Hopefully, welcome Tammy Bogart. The FBI has uncovered 2,400 new records about President John F. Kennedy's assassination following President Trump's order to release secret files, according to reports. Those documents contain about 14,000 pages worth of material that a disclosure board was supposed to review but never saw, Axios reported on Monday. Now, the White House learned about the never before reviewed documents on Friday as the Office of the Director of National Intelligence presented its plan to disclose the remaining documents. This is huge. This shows the FBI is taking this seriously. Jefferson Morley, the vice president of the Mary Farrell Foundation, which has the largest online record of JFK assassination records. The FBI is finally saying, let's respond to the president's order. Instead of keeping the secrecy going, he added. Now, exactly what is in the newly discovered documents remains secret, at least for now. Trump ordered the release of all files from Kennedy's 1963 assassination, which has been mired in decades long conspiracy theories. But experts have cautioned that the final release of documents is unlikely to reveal whether the official story that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone in unaliving Kennedy is true, or that conspiracy theories suggesting he was aided by shadowy government or criminal entities have any merit. I mean, maybe it's half a dozen to one six of the other, if we're honest. I don't know if I trust the government to be coordinated and, efficient enough to pull anything off anymore. But that's just me. The 1992 JFK Records Act mandated that all documents related to the assassination and investigation into it were to be handed over to an official JFK Assassination Records Review Board and the National Archives, which would have then been disclosed fully by 2017. Now, Trump blocked the full disclosure during his first term on advice from the CIA, but reportedly regretted that situation. A partial records release happened under Biden, but no revelations came out of it. Everything will be revealed, President Trump said on January 23rd, signing the latest release order, which also requested all records related to Robert F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassinations also be released. Now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who has been nominated as Yes, sorry. I was thinking of Robert F. Kennedy and forgot the junior on there. So I was like, I'm pretty sure he is deceased. So I don't know how he's helping the president with anything. But then I added the junior. Welcome to the thought process of Mo. Has been nominated as President Trump's Secretary of Health and Human Services, believes both his father's and uncle's murders were part of greater conspiracies. Now, all documents are expected to be released by March 9th, according to Trump's order. But some sources told Axios that all the documents were still being subjected to heavy redaction recommendations, which Trump would not be pleased with. This is total deep state bull s, if one person said. So it is very interesting. I hope that we get answers, but I'm not holding my breath. I suspect shenanigans regardless of, presidential orders. But, who am I to judge? I don't even have a tinfoil hat. In another, well, just more news that makes you want to, ride in cars for the rest of your life covered in bubble wrap. There has been another plane accident. One person is dead after two jets, including a private plane owned by Motley Crue singer, collide on a runway at Scottsdale Airport in Arizona. At least one person is dead after a private jet owned by Motley Crue lead singer Vince Neil barreled into another plane on a runway at the Scottsdale Airport in Arizona Monday afternoon, according to officials. Now, the accident happened just before 3 p.m. when a Learjet 35A, registered to Neil's business, Chromed, in Hollywood, quote, veered off the runway after landing, the Federal Aviation Administration said in a statement. Now, that jet collided with a Gulfstream 200 parked at a nearby ramp, according to AZ Family. Now, people were on the Learjet, which was flying from Austin, and one was on the Gulfstream, according to officials. The rock star was not on the jet at the time of the collision, according to Neil's lawyers, but the musician's girlfriend, Rain Adriani, and her friend were aboard, according to sources close to the situation. Now, both women survived and were taken to the hospital, with Andretti suffering 5 broken ribs, according to the outlet. The dogs that were with the women during the private flight also survived the crash, per TMZ. Now, the two pilots were also on board the Rocker's plane, Neil's lawyer said in a statement posted to X. Mr. Neil's thoughts and prayers go to everyone involved. He is grateful for the critical aid of all the first responders, assisting today, his lawyers said. One of the pilots died in the collision, according to Neil's friend and Poison frontman Brett Michaels. Are we just name dropping? Oh, Brett, oh, Brett. Oh my. Look, the march of time is not good when you party like a roadie, children. So, children, if you party like a roadie, this is what you're going to look like at 60. It's a fair warning. So maybe don't party like a roadie. Just throwing that one out there. Quote, my deepest sympathy and condolences to the pilot that just passed away in Scottsdale Air Park and the other pilot who was injured, as well my thoughts and prayers to our family friend Rain and her friends and all those who were injured in the tragic landing, Michaels wrote on Facebook. He still uses Facebook. Bless his heart. I was relieved to hear that my friend Vince Neil was not on board at the time of the incident. So this is... Oh, good night, nurse. Well, I'm shocked that any of them survived. Oh, good night, nurse. Okay, I need you to stop playing because now you're going to distract me. JetPros, the private jet charter company that owns the Gulfstream, confirmed that there were no injuries on its aircraft in the statement, according to 12 News. One person refused medical attention at the scene, City of Scottsdale officials said. Now, footage obtained by news outlets and shared across social media showed one plane struggling to safely come to a stop on the runway as it skidded into a parked plane. The impact on contact was so severe it pushed the stationary aircraft several yards before both planes finally came to a stop. Images on the runway showed the jet, on the tarmac without landing gear alongside another plane as emergency vehicles and personnel stood by. Now, the left main landing gear on the Learjet appeared to have failed when the plane touched down, causing the collision, Scottsdale officials said in a statement. The crash comes as a spate of airport accidents and air accidents have, just seemed to crop up in the last couple weeks. No, this does seem like the left landing gear did not, either fully come down or, uh, you know, collapsed on landing. So the pilot, you know, had no control. He's basically fighting, you know, trying to drive on one wheel as you're slowing down. So, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to look a lot at the maintenance. I mean, these parts on these jets are supposed to, take incredible forces. Let's see. It is a Lear jet. I don't know who makes Lear jets. I would assume Lear, but I don't know. So definitely, this looks like there seems to be a systematic problem with either maintenance, general something or other. It does seem, and again, coincidence doesn't mean, correlation, but when you have this many things going wrong with the one particular sector at, once, you might, a smart person might say, are we doing something wrong here? Is there a problem we might need to take a look at? So I don't have, big wisdom answers to give you. I barely understand how planes stay in the air, but I am hoping that smarter people than me are looking at this and coming up with answers, because if I have to come up with answers, everyone's walking. In what in the Walmart rapture, y'all, this is how we get final form Jesus down here, and I don't need to be living in the end times. I am too irreverent to be, this close to the end times, so stop being disgusting. I mean, for the love of all that is Cheetos, I am just trying to get to purgatory, y'all. A creep caught doing a disgusting act in a public pool. I say we send him to Mars. Why are you washing yourself in a pool? That's it. Someone needs a tackle. I need a corner lineman from the Bears. I'm gonna need to tackle this man, you know. A man has been filmed giving himself a very deep and personal clean in a children's pool in New Zealand in front of bemused onlookers. You misspelled horrified. Not bemused, horrified. Also, it's kind of like a train wreck. I am not going to lie. As a consumer of all train wreck TLC programs, except for 90 Day Fiancé, because the big, big Al or whatever, Ed, he just creeps me out. I'm sorry. I feel bad, but he does creep me out, so I couldn't get into that. But as a, connoisseur of cringe hilarious and dumpster fire content, it is kind of like a train wreck. You just can't look away. And yeah, yeah, just now. Now, the video of the disgusting act went viral on social media with 1 million viewers after being shared on Facebook by your user Limus Dagao. Okay. Earlier this week, the man wearing a gray swimsuit. Now them are gym shorts. I don't know what they're talking about. Swimsuits. Oh, Wolfram knows airplane stuff. Okay, main gear. I doubt the writer knows aircraft. Looked more like the nose gear collapsed. If a main gear collapsed, the wingtip would have dragged the ground, causing the plane to turn and spin. Well, see, I didn't even catch that, Wolfram, so you go. I'd have been like the little wheelie things that come down and make so we don't become a fireball. That's kind of as technical as I go. Now, maybe I too can be head of the FAA. Hey, I'm a snappy dresser sometimes. Now, the man wearing a gray swimsuit or gym shorts, because I say X to doubt, is seen bent over just lathering himself with soap in the knee-high water as children splashed around feet away. What the? He got soap? A man is heard saying, Bro, it's not a bath. No, it's not. And please, I hope you left the twig and berries alone. Now, the man then turns his attention to his rear end to give it a deep and vigorous scrub. Giblets on a handbasket. Someone tackle this man. As Empress of the Pettyverse and, fighter for love, justice, and cringelarity, I say this man needs a good tackle. I'm just throwing that out there. Allegedly in Minecraft, some mama just needs to go in and, 3-point stance and you just follow their hips. Now, as football averse as I am, I have learned things because my family like did the football thing. Like all kids were, taken and put in football if there were male children. And so I understand the 3-point tackle and I understand watching the hips. Now, anything beyond that in gameplay, I am confused. Like, I don't understand why you got the chain guys and, why it takes them forever and a day to get to see if you measured the ball so it fell in the right place. I'm just like, they are never on their ball. Like, the chain guys, I mean, honest to goodness, the guys with the football on the chain are they doing the Ben Affleck like he just realized he is actually still married to flippin' Jennifer Lopez and is smoking himself into her sarcastic death? Because they are never on top of things. It's always like, let's get the chain guys. And they are over there like they are freaking working on my locality trying to fill a pothole. There are 27 of them. One person is carrying a shovel and the rest is looking at the guy with the shovel like he's going to answer a question. I don't know. That my rant about a game I don't understand is over. You're welcome. Is he washing his effing A, one man says. A woman explains, Oi, stop it. What the F, one man says, for F's sake. All right, kids get out of the pool. It wasn't immediately clear when the incident took place, but it does appear to have been filmed in the Memorial Park pool in Palmerston North on New Zealand's North Island. So this is a memorial pool, like for kids, but also to memorialize. Ew, you're washing your butt in a memorial pool. It is just stupid enough to be real life in 2025. And I hesitate to say this, but I hope to God he washes his hand after he touched his butt. But then I'm realizing he's doing into this in public, and I'm just horrified by everything. Just I'm proud of him that he used soap. I don't. Okay, we are getting off of the anal archaeology because I don't even know what the hell's going on there. Now, the clip has attracted thousands of comments. This is how I got severely sick in 2021. I was in a spa pool, and this guy thought it was a great idea to have a bath in the spa, one woman wrote. Within 2 days, I was severely sick with the shakes, vomiting, and the hospital told me I had an infection in my blood and asked me where I had been. Another person wrote, This is my favorite pool to take my kids to. Why is no one saying anything? What is wrong with this guy? No common sense and clearly no running water at home, a third said. But other users defended this man. Okay, no. Stop the petty train. I'm going to need the people that are defending this man to come and present themselves to the front of the congregation to the Church of Mo. Because holy fazitos, what the hell? No, there is no way you can possibly justify this. I don't care if he's an unhoused person. There are facilities. I am sure that New Zealand also has facilities where even if you are an unhoused person, you can go and take a shower and get clean. You don't have to use a kiddie pool. And there seems to be some sick delight he's getting in the fact that no one feels, ballsy enough to do it. And he's invading, a space that's meant for children. Like maybe I am deeply pathologizing this outdoor bathing, which could be a possible thing, but it's such an entitled move to think that, yeah, I'm going to take a bath here. And even if people are upset or worried, I'm me and I deserve to be able to take a shower wherever, whenever, because my unique, calibration is awesome. What's wrong? One woman asked. I mean, isn't it normal to shower and wash with soap, etc. after a swim? It's okay for kids with a stink ass to swim in a chlorinated pool, but not a man to clean himself after a swim? Sweet summer child. Now, I don't know where the hell you have been swimming, and I would hope that you use bleach because I don't think you understand how any of this works. But yes, people do sometimes take showers prior to getting into a pool. And they take showers after getting out of the pool because chlorine is actually detrimental to your skin. Ask me how I know. I used to work at a therapy pool. I used to, have hair so brittle that it would feel like straw. I would have to buy special swimsuits because the chlorine would eat a normal swimsuit. I mean, I was paying $200 for a swimsuit because it would last for 6 months instead of about 2 months. So, yes, people do regularly, achieve hygiene goals before and after the pool. We don't do it in the pool because we're not psychotic and entitled pieces of crap. Another person claimed that the man is known to be mentally unwell. Then why is he out in public? Again, why does he not have a minder? You know, he could have someone who is paid to say, hey, good idea, taking a bath, but we are going to redirect that to a private area, a water closet, if you will. If he had, someone whose job was to maybe give him sort of redirection on this. But for the love of all, okay, I do hope when the cockroaches and Twinkies take over, they are smarter than us. I weep for humanity. Ew. So, some people are upset because they think he has mental health problems and that no one should say anything. And other people feel like me that he should have been tackled. Now, I don't know. The internet is a crazy place. I'm not here to be your life guru. So I say choose your own flavor to deal with this one because ew. But I hope that they double bleached the pool, refilled all the water, and got it out. Again, kid pools are going to be highly chlorinated. I will tell you guys, a big sign that a pool is not actually properly chemically balanced is if you smell chlorine. If you go into a pool, an indoor pool, or, anywhere, and you can smell the chlorine, that means they have added too much to try to balance things out. Something is wrong in that pool because you should never, the water should keep all the chlorine trapped. You should never have enough chlorine that there's free chlorine in the atmosphere. I, look, this is just my speculation, but since I worked at the therapy pool enclosed with, chlorine and chemicals for about 3 years, I notice when I get colds, I get really bad colds. Now, I also do vape at this particular moment, so I am not, doing that thing where I validate like my bad habit by saying it's the pool. So yeah, I get it. Okay, I'm not trying to do one of them, sneaky little, I'ma help my addiction and blame it on the pool. No, no. I foresee where I'm having some stuff, but y'all want me to be hydrated and decaffeinated and personable. Look, there are some things that are gonna have to give in this world, sweetheart. Lord Chippy attendance, we do have some new customers. I know you were getting a little, worried that we might never have Lord Chippy show up again, but we need him right now, bless his heart. And for these two genetic rejects for whom Darwin will strike, I hope soon. These two regrettable amalgamations of DNA that call themselves human. Let's get into this story. Dad and girlfriend who left his 15-year-old daughter ratchet strapped. Yeah, that's right, ratchet strapped. Again, I'm gonna need the dial turned on to centimeter by centimeter. If we can calibrate down to millimeter, y'all will be my heroes. But I trust my Lord Chippy attendants, so you guys know what you need to do, allegedly in Minecraft. Ratchet strapped to a tree next to a chicken coop for 3 days because she went to the bathroom on herself and can't be trusted. Sir, I usually do not make fun of people's appearance because I think God finds beauty in everything, but I have finally found a face that negates the existence of a benevolent God, you two rejects of just humanity. And generally, yeah, I don't make fun of people. I think God finds beauty in everything, but I think God made some leftovers and y'all are the appendix of humanity. And why is it always the stick thin guy with the woman who done swallowed the rascal on Walmart? And y'all think I'm joking, but go to my local Walmart. Just people watch for 5 seconds. And it is always that man. Now, I don't know if she makes biscuits with lard and that just is his. But I need to know how they find the time and the energy because I am deflating. I am getting semi fit, and I have neither the time nor the inclination at this point right now. Now, it could be that it's cold and my leg is a son of a huck, but I'm just saying, I will never understand the general physics of that unless he is hung like Donkey Kong. Any hoozle, yes, I did think about it. Yes, I did do the physics thing with Julia Roberts in the middle of the night, drawing stick figures, trying to figure out how all this worked because, of course, my mind would go there. All right, let's get into these, genetic dead ends. An Oklahoma judge on Wednesday handed down stiff sentences to a couple who tied down a 15-year-old girl to a tree for 3 days because they felt she could not be trusted. Now, Johnny James, I mean, if ever a name matched a face, Johnny James, received 35 years in prison after he pled guilty to CA and neglect. His girlfriend, Kayla Clark, 42. She actually doesn't look 42. I mean, she looks maybe 37, but a rough 37. But I'm terrible at ages. Will be behind bars for 30 years after she pled guilty to child neglect and enabling CA. Tulsa Fox affiliate KOKI reported. Now, per Lori Fulbright of the local CBS KOTV, station, the victim is now with a foster family and had the opportunity to make a victim impact statement during the sentencing hearing. As Long Crime previously reported, deputies from the Washington County Sheriff's Office responded on July 23rd to a home in Vera, a small town northeast of Oklahoma, about 25 miles north of Tulsa, for a CA complaint and probable cause arrest, affidavit said. Now, a woman told deputies that a 15-year-old girl was tied up in the backyard and needed medical attention with a, quote, hole in her leg and lesions on her arms, the affidavit said. Now, the 911 caller said the girl had been there for 3 days and the caller had been sneaking her food. Okay, at the first day, when you see a child chained to a tree and you don't call on the first day, are you flipping nuts? Like you waited to the third day until you see if she was going to resurrect her fucking self? Excuse me, sorry. I just. Okay. Church of Mo. Now, I didn't think that this would have to be a public service announcement. And I don't think it's generally directed to you. But if you see a child strapped to an effing tree, yeah, take care of that suit, that first, second minute you see it, you freaking do not wait 3 days and take her out of Hot Pocket. Are you flipping out of. I have counted to 10 before I wove a tapestry of FUs and the C word that would not only demonetize me, but possibly give me the Guinness World Record for the most curses in 1 minute, 30 seconds. I am going to need a swear jar because holy fazoli's, this case has, like today, I am already, this case, I have already said the F word for the love of Cheetos. I thought I was going to be good until the Megan Boswell case, but apparently I get dressed up in a sassy dress. I just get all full of myself and full of the F word. Now, the 15-year-old girl and her family were visiting from Texas, per police officers. Deputies responded to the home, and beside a red shed and a chicken coop, they saw a 15-year-old girl sitting on a rectangular piece of carpet, leaning forward over at the waist with a bandage below her knee and a ratchet-style tie-down strap around her, according to the affidavit. Now, cops spoke with the witness who said the 15-year-old identified as her Nana. The woman first did not want to be truthful and said she did not know about the girl's condition, and according to deputies, was like, I don't know nothing. Yeah, the grandma. The grandma doesn't know nothing. Now, I love my babies. I love my babies. But let me catch my babies strapping my grandchildren to some trees. Now, Youngest Most Feral, I might give a little bit of a pass because Youngest Most Feral most definitely needed those kid leashes. I understand they're ridiculous. I understand that they are cringe-hilarious. But for the love of all that is holy, that child needed a leash. Yes, I had one of them scrunchy leashes. Yes, he had a backpack because this child was Houdini. And look, I did not need to have a heart attack at 36. So, yes, the boy had a leash, and I may allow Youngest Most Feral, progeny to be able to wear leashes. I don't get it. I don't get it. She then alleged that she admitted to knowing what was going on, but was too afraid of James. I will shot put hurl James across the Olympic hurdle line. I know that didn't make sense with the sports ball, but for the look, you know what? I am finally in Wonderland. I am finally out of the twos. Thank you so much. I will pick up hoist, little Johnny James, and I am going to spin my little heart out, and I think I could get him at least across the 100-yard line. This little twig acting like freaking, I'm the man. Sit the hell down and shut the hell up. Uh-huh. James arrived home and immediately told deputies he tied her up because she can't be trusted and likes to lie. Abuser says what? He reportedly said she was not tied down for very long, maybe an hour while he was gone. Yeah, you can't crate, train, and chain your kids to trees. I don't even like it when you do it to dogs, even though I sort of understand it because, again, Fry was a terrorist, not gonna lie. But yeah, you're trustworthy. You look like, okay, honestly, you look like Lee Harvey Oswald if he had a meth problem. Meth Harvey Oswald. That's what you look like, for the love of all that is holy. Quote, Johnny explained the time she is left outside was to go to the store or church this morning due to her peeing and pooping on herself and not wanting it inside, so they sat her outside. That way there is no mess, the affidavit said. When Johnny was asked, he stated this was the only option to keep her restrained because he did not know what else to do to help her. James says he attributes the disciplinary issues to the girl wanting to live with her mother. He also told deputies he sees now he will need to figure out another solution besides tying her down. Reason number 11D12,506, I am not a police officer. Because I'm not saying I would have a beautiful, bedazzled glove, and I would have said glove for said whoosh, mo pimp hand. And I'm not saying that my my coordination inabilities, I might chalk it up to my CRPS. But whoosh, allegedly in Minecraft, I have a twitch. Now, I'm going to have to explain away how I got a bedazzled, bejeweled, and besparkled, spiky glove. But, I can do it. I'll go in looking all, fabulous, and they'll be like, he is kind of a jerk. When police asked Clark about the 15-year-old being tied with the ratchet strap, she responded, quote, she was taking a shower and did not know anything that took place. She also didn't manage to see her when they left for church, possibly because she can't see her neck. because they were so frazzled. It seems like if you have a daughter that's rebelling and maybe needs some spiritual guidance, you would take her to said church. Eh. First responders took the girl to the hospital. Thank God. The Department of Human Services took custody of the girl. Pray for that girl. Along with other children who were in the home. The Bartlesville Examiner Enterprise reported, Bon Voyage and Mayu allegedly received Daryl Brooks' third-party intervener treatment from Gen Pop Justice. Bon Voyage. Allegedly in Minecraft, of course. Now, what in the fresh hell is this? I have already told you guys I fear I live in the end times, but what the hell is this? Pickle pizza is now a thing. It took years of walking around New York City to develop it. Well, I'm sure it took years to, create the Kardashians, but that doesn't mean we should have given them any power or put them on television. Some things should not be. Stop it. Just because you can do it. How we learned nothing from Jurassic Park. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. For the love of God. It's brine dining. The first of its kind frozen dill pickle pizza has just landed at Whole Foods after intensive recipe development and in-depth research of the New York pickle scene. There's a pickle scene, and I know I could make a joke about that, but I mean, call the Pride Parade whatever you want. Pickle scene, I don't care. That's a shit ton of pickles, isn't it? This is like my mom's final, temptation. All these if they have pickled okra, my mom is there and she is never coming home, okay? I don't know what pickled okra is other than a torture tool, but I have never had an okra, so again, it's a vegetable, it's green, I do not apply. We worked on it for maybe 2 years until we got it just right, and boy did we ever. Food manufacturer Gail Becker, 60 years old, told the Post of the $10 pie. Now, Becker is the founder of food company Cauliflower. Oh God, is a cauliflower pizza too? What in the hysterical grossness is this? Look, as a semi-fluffy who is deflating and trying to do it the semi-okay, normalish, good way, all we have to do is maybe not get stuffed crust and stop at one piece of pizza. We can learn to use self-control and not torture ourselves by making pizzas out of vegetables. Cauliflower pizza is the devil. Change my mind. It gives you hope that it's a pizza, and then you taste it and it's cauliflower and you're like, I hate my life. I'll be fat. Her husband and her canvassed Jewish delis around Manhattan, from Barney Greengrass on the Upper West Side and Pastrami Queen on the Upper East Side, to Sarge's in Murray Hills and Katz on the Lower East Side, sampling all sorts of pickles as part of their research. We made it our mission to try every deli in New York, and sometimes we'd walk 5 miles or 10 miles, as much as 17 miles, said Becker, who grew up in Los Angeles and moved to, New York City a couple years back. We were ultimately most taken by the pickle guys on Essex streets with heaping barrels of pickles. They have 20 different barrels, pickled onions. Let's see, onions, cabbage, pickled everything. They probably do have pickled okra, so if I ever went, I would have to, pick some up for my mom, but it still seems gross. And welcome, Shizzy Raiders. Boosh, I'm with you. Although, why are we wasting butter, sweetie? We don't waste butter. We don't waste butter, and we don't waste bacon grease. Now, Mr. Mo does argue with me, because if I have a full jar of bacon grease, do I need to continue to save bacon grease? And the answer is yes, you do. You do need to continue to save bacon grease, because it is the bomb. I mean, you want to cook you some vegetables and you hate vegetables. You are a me. You wish they would put vegetables in like a pill and you never have to eat them. Now, again, that bacon grease is going to make them green beans taste just a scotch like bacon, and you can just choke them down. It's slimy. It is slimy. I've touched one. I have a texture thing. I touched one. It was a slimy, weird thing. I was like, I'm out. The store has been a mainstay of the neighborhood since 1910, where there were bustling brine markets throughout the Lower East Side. People were coming from all over New York to, fill little containers with fresh pickles, as you can imagine. The shop's garlicky variety, a sweet tangy flavor with a hint of vinegar and sugar, inspired the recipe for the brine used to make Becker's pizza, which features a creamy bechamel sauce flavored with the brine. Now, bechamel sauce, now they want you to make it, they want to sound fancy. Mama Mo's going to clue you in on what a bechamel sauce is because it just sounds fanciful and it's not all that big deal. So, you take some butter and you take some flour and you make yourself a little roux. You're going to let the butter and flour cook out. You're getting the flour taste out. Now there are levels of roux. You're not looking for a peanut butter. You are looking for like a light tan to just, cooking the flour out. Now you add you some cream, some, milk if you want. I mean, it depends on if you're going keto or I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life. I like heavy cream. And you whisk that in there and you basically have a bechamel sauce. And you add whatever you want to it. So they added the brine to make it more like pizza. It's the same thing you do to make sausage gravy. And thank you, Wolfram, for the 5 gifted memberships. And I'm going to have to write these down because I don't know where my tickets are because my area is all a mess. But I think I saw them, so I'm going to try to find them. And those went to Hyacinth, Fun Diane, Tammy Bogart, Donna Shepard, Deviant Smart, and Bethany Williams. So congratulations. Welcome to the Church of Mo. We have dark chocolate sarcasm. We'd ask you to kindly leave your audio assault weapons and recorders at home. Thank you so much. And kazoos. Kazoos have been added. Kazoos will be stopped at the border of our, introvert commune that we're working towards. This sounds gross, just ew. Again, if you would like to try this sad cauliflower pizza, and I get it, some people like to be healthy and they can live with like tricking themselves into thinking cauliflower pizza is good. Like, I get it. When you're on a kick and you're healthy and you want to pretend that your life doesn't suck because you can't have a piece of bread. I mean, I get it. Look, I want to love my life, not hate my life. Ew. That's my verdict. If you want to try it, I have, it'll be fine. Now, of course they didn't put are you kidding me? This is supposed to be about the fish. Absolute redonkulousness. Why would you have aid to Gaza? Sorry, we are having a meltdown as far as why nothing ever matches the video. A man's pop-up urinal death may never be explained, family fears. What is a pop-up urinal? I mean, is it like a porta potty? And how in the hell did he die? And oh my gosh, this is sad. And what happened? I am now hooked. I feel terrible. This man looks super sweet. And I am confused. The family of the man who was crushed to death in a freak accident fear they may never find out what caused the pop-up urinal he was working on to drop suddenly. Maintenance engineer Kevin Holding, 60, was killed when working in Soho on the 27th of January in 2023. His inquest heard it took 2 hours for a crane to arrive to lift the urinal off him. Why the F was the urinal? Was he working under the... I hate to say this, and I don't want to see this man's final moments, but I'm having a hard time figuring out why the hell the urinal was in the air. Like, I get that it fell on him, but why was it being held by a crane in the first place? I feel confused. His daughter, Carly Holding, 37, said the lack of answers of how he came to be crushed was disgusting and disrespectful. She told BBC London that the family as a whole just hasn't been the same at all. We're a very broken family. Deputy Chief Inspector Dean Purvis from the Met Police, which is still investigating the death. They're still investigating the death? This has been what? Freaking 2 years? Like, gravity works. How are we still investigating this? Apologize to the Holdings. Oh, probably because, they're out making sure you aren't nasty tweeting anyone and hurting feelings. For the love of all that is Cheetos. Feelings, they get hurt. Oh, thank you. Let me see. I am going to pull this up because I am thinking, oh, okay, that makes more sense. Because I am thinking a porta potty, but this is obviously not a porta potty. Well, I mean, it is, but it isn't, but it is. Oh, for the love of Cheetos, where is it? Okay, I mean, pay no attention to the fact that I was looking at that, but that is in fact a pop-up urinal. So that's heavy duty steel. Yeah, no one's going to survive that. I I just was confused because in my mind I'm pulling up porta potty, which, they're plastic, so that does make a lot more sense, and how horrifying that those were his final moments. And why was he under it? Yikes. And thank you, JKD Buck, because I was confused. And this is just terribly sad. Why don't we have any answers in 2 years? He said, "We're sorry for the impact this is having on everyone in Mr. Holding's family. If you were really sorry, you would do something. You would make sure that they had answers. You would make sure another Christmas or, New Year's doesn't go by, another summer, another winter, that they don't have answers. But no, you're going to give them pretty platitudes and okay, anyone from the UK, is this an affect or is this an actual like journalist kind of talking thing? I have noticed there is a very kind of almost stuttery speech when things get uncomfortable when you guys are on UK television, where it becomes like I didn't say that, but I do want to. It's just this very kind of halting, like I'm trying to think about something, but maybe I'm just noticing it because I was weird and at 3 a.m. watching, Piers Morgan like no one should do. Who knows? Now, pop-up loos were first introduced in central London in 2002 to discourage street urination. Now, during the day, they are stored below the pavement, and at night they rise hydraulically. Now, Carrie from Sevenoaks in Kent added that Mr. Holding's parents, both in their 80s, have been knocked for six. I'm guessing that means they've been this has exploded their world. She said of her grandparents, both in their 80s, one of their biggest fears is that they'll never find out before they pass. We haven't gotten closure. We haven't been able to properly mourn, close that chapter and live our lives in the memory of Dad and build our family back up. We're still in this gray zone where we have no idea what happened, how he lost his life, so we can't put that to rest. Because, yeah, they need to get paid. This is ridiculous. How can you not have freaking for 2 years? Now, Mr. Holding from Beckenham in southeast London became trapped underneath the telescopic urinal, which dropped on him while he was working on the device, his inquest was told. It heard how the emergency services reached the toilet Mr. Holding was working on at about 1:05, but could not reach him. The work he was doing was being carried out on behalf of Westminster City Council, which expressed its deepest sympathies for Kevin Holding's family and friends. A health and safety executive spokesperson said in a statement, "We are assisting the Metropolitan Police investigation into this incident." Uh, Detective Chief Inspector Purvis added, "This is a complex case and it's taken time to receive interim expert reports from Health and Safety Executive. Wow, bureaucracy is ridiculous. You guys can't get paperwork figured out? Like, we have to talk to an expert. Oh, do they use a chisel and papyrus? This is 2025. We can find an expert, we can get some answers, and we can do some things in a short amount of time. I point to this current administration, whether you like them or not, have achieved a multitudinous of things in a short amount of time. Now, I suggest that you give this man dignity, find out what happened, and cut the red tape and stop being so annoyingly pompous." In response, Miss Holding said, "I'm not surprised they're buck passing. Do your job. Remember, you're dealing with someone's family. Give us the respect we deserve. We want actions now." He seemed like a great grandfather. I know pictures don't tell an entire story, but this man looked just happy and pleased as punch to be a grandpa, which is how I'm going to be when I'm a grandma, just pleased as punch. Like, give me that baby. This baby is not a bad baby. This baby does nothing wrong. And then I fill him up with pixie sticks like the expert and send them home. Miss Holding said, "I genuinely believe because he passed away, they keep forgetting my dad's case. It's not like we're even getting a time frame. I think it's disgusting." As for the impact on the wider family, she added, "Our lives have been on hold. We haven't done anything. We're just coasting and it's horrible." This time last year, the Met Police admitted it had not provided the family with the support they would expect during the past year. The family told BBC London that the Met has since appointed a family liaison officer. Detective Chief Inspector Purvis added, "We have carefully considered the HSE report's content and are awaiting some final advice before we decide the next steps." How many middleman pencil pusher bureaucracy do we need to freaking, have to get this man some dignity and figure out why the hell a giant metal pisser took him out? I mean, for the love of all that is holy, I know I'm American, I know I'm crass, I know I just say what I think, but does the UK need someone to come in here and say, "Hey, could we get this done without all the bullshit?" I mean, maybe I am the good Meghan Markle type. I am the American with the weird past that will just say what I think, but I generally love the UK. So, I'm a big fan of the Great British Bake Off, and I love it. And if Paul Holly would shake my hand, any hoozle, let's move on. Mr. Mo's like, "Paul Hollywood, I see." And I was like, "Look, I have Paul passes if it should come to pass." Just kidding. I think he's married. And oh, speaking of the royals, because why not? For the love of all that is holy, what is this timeline? I give up, you guys. This version of the Matrix may be glitchy, but I'm having fun in it. Trump rules out deporting Prince Harry. He's got enough problems with his wife. Can agree, facts and evidence. I think we could all agree with that. Unless you like the Princess of Hairspray, then, if she's your jam, she's your jam. No hate here. If you like her, that's fine. She's not my cup of tea. Prince Harry can breathe freely in Montecito because President Donald Trump has ruled out deporting the self-styled, exiled British royal. Harry's immigration status is the subject of litigation in Washington, D.C., with the Heritage Foundation alleging that he might have concealed past illegal drug use. Well, he did dress in a sort of Hugo Boss-inspired outfit about the same time period that I'm trying to capture right here, if you catch my drift, for a Halloween party for funsies. So, yeah, not to mention, sir, surrender to the fact that you have 2.5 hairs up here. Look, fluffing them up is not going to make anyone think that you do not have a friar tuck. As we have already covered in the Church of Mo, the friar tuck is the least attractive look. Shave that crap off. You're already a ginger, and it looks like you have a cool head. Go bald. You'll be fine. Get you some bald, beard oil baldness thing. It'll work. But these 6 hairs you have here that are valiantly trying to fight, no. The president told the New York Post Friday that he is not interested in throwing Harry out of the country. I don't want to do that, he said. I'll leave him alone. He's got enough problems with his wife. She's terrible. Now, Trump took the opportunity to praise Harry's estranged older brother, William, with whom he met privately in Paris in December during the reopening ceremony of the Notre Dame Cathedral. I think William is a great young man, he said. Now, the Duke of Sussex and his liberal American wife, Meghan Markle, have voiced disapproval of Trump over the years, including one outburst in which the Duchess called the president divisive and misogynistic. Trump has in turn described Harry as whipped by Markle. Poor Harry, he's being led around by the nose. I mean, she's a pretty woman. I'm not going to hate on her. I think she's self-centered and can't read a room, but she doesn't affect my daily life. So I'm not that into it. I mean, it's fun to watch her sort of struggle completely with how the world sees her and her own lens and them being hilariously different. But I'm just like, meh. Now, Heritage cited Harry's autobiography, Spare, in which he admitted to using Colombian nose powder, the devil's lettuce, and those crazy mushrooms. When it sued the Department of Homeland Security last year to force the release of his U.S. visa records. Anyone who applies to the United States has to be truthful on their application, and it is not clear that that was the case with Prince Harry. Heritage's Niall Gardiner told the London Daily Telegraph. Now, the conservative think tank suggests that Harry was given preferential treatment by the Biden administration after he and Meghan moved to California in 2020 following their acrimonious Megxit split from the royal family. They're both insufferable. Well, the boat came back the very next day. The boat came back and the taxes you will have to pay. This poor Florida man, the two best moments are when you buy a boat and then when you sell it. Now, I don't know this from personal experience, but I have heard enough horror stories about boats to never have a even vague interest in owning one. A Florida man sold a boat in 2019. Hurricane Helene washed it ashore 5 years later, and he was told, remove it or face fines. In 2019, Pinellas County resident John Fleming sold his 31-foot sailboat Shenanigans. Holy fazolies. Did I just find my boat, best friend? Did I swipe right and find my boat, even though I just said I didn't want a boat, but because it's named Shenanigans, I must have it? Not looking up on the internet to buy Shenanigans the boat, like there's a lake next to me, like I don't know. He once sailed on his own from North Carolina to Tampa in that boat. But when Hurricane Helene came along in 2024, it washed Fleming's old boat ashore in the Duden Causeway west of Tampa on Florida's Gulf. Now, the boat has since become a tourist attraction. Visitors to the area like to stop and take pictures of it, and a nearby restaurant even posted a sign on it advertising cold beer. However, because it poses a safety issue, the boat cannot stay put. Once local officials got wind of where the boat was, Fleming received a notice of violation from Pinellas County, stating that the 11,000-pound boat he no longer owned needed to be removed. Now, despite showing the bill of sale for the boat, Fleming was told by the county that removing it is still his responsibility. No. Mo would do that. So the people come to my house and they're like, this is your boat. And I swear to God, probably the first thing, just because I am what we like to call spastastic, I'd be like, nuh-uh, I don't think that's legal. Do y'all know your own laws? Yeah, he doesn't own it. Why is he responsible? Pinellas County, stop being peas. I mean, you'd think that a county that sounds like Pinellas County wouldn't be such dicks. It would be bad for tourism, you'd think, but they chose violence, I guess. I'm shocked, Fleming told NBC News Channel 8. It's unbelievable that this could happen. When Fleming received a code enforcement citation, the first thing he tried to do was explain he no longer owned the boat in question. But following that, he received a notice reiterating that the boat needed to be moved, and if not, Fleming could be on the hook for fines up to $8,000 per day. Now, Fleming tried to talk to a person at the county and initially hit a dead end, trying to get through to the officer who issued the violation. I couldn't get through to him. I left him messages. I even called his supervisor, he said. When the officer finally came back to him, he informed Fleming that he needed to remove the boat, otherwise the city would take care of it and would pass the cost on to him. And if I like, I can go after the owner civilly to recover all these costs, Fleming explained. But that sounded like a hassle he didn't want to deal with, so Fleming contacted Channel 8 Consumer Report reporter Sharon Becken, who then reached out to county officials. Shortly after she did, Fleming received a call with good news. The county managed to locate the current owner of the boat and said it would be sending the violation notice to them. I'm off the hooks, thanks to you, I'm off the hook, Fleming said. I have no doubt I would have had to call a lawyer. Thankfully, he was spared what he said could have been a nightmare. A county spokesperson told Channel 8 that code enforcement officer who issued Fleming's violation was new to the department and not familiar with the different databases the county uses to track down owners. The new owner will now be tasked with removing the boat from the causeway. Local governments typically have the right to establish rules regarding things like zoning and public safety. Your town, for example, may have a set of rules in place for things like noise ordinances, snow removal, lawn and tree maintenance, and pet registration. The tricky thing about code violations is that they aren't universal rules. Each county can set its own regulations, so what may be permissible in one zip code could be a violation in a few zip codes over. Yeah, you shouldn't have had to call the bully pulpit the Fifth Estate. You shouldn't have had to call journalists, for the love of all that is holy and Fazoli's. He should not have had to go to social media to reach out to dying media in order to get this man. Why are you putting brand new, code enforcement officers out there by themselves? Is this something that you just set them free and they are able to destroy and, complicate people's lives just for funsies because they don't know what they're doing? This needs to be taken care of. This needs to be made efficient. How is it that if you really need this boat moved, you aren't finding the person that, owned it? Oh, just ridiculous. Where is... So this is a little scary. A 7.6 magnitude earthquake triggers Caribbean tsunami warnings. So this, could be big news. I'm not a meteorologist or a tsunamiologist. So if you get warnings wherever you may be, please listen to them and follow them, because I don't know what you're supposed to do in a tsunami other than get the hell higher. So there you go. The more you know. A 7.6 magnitude earthquake. And thank you so much for being a member in the Church of Mo for 1 month. And we bought a boat called Alcoholic. I like it. A magnitude 7.6 earthquake in the Caribbean Sea Saturday triggered tsunami warnings for Cuba and the Cayman Islands and tsunami advisories for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. The tsunami warning for Cuba cautioned against potential tsunami measuring between 3 to 10 feet, while the tsunami warning in the Cayman Islands cites a potential tsunami measuring between 1 and 3 feet in height, according to the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. Now, no injuries or significant damages have been reported due to the earthquake. The offshore earthquake occurred at 6.2 or 623. And thank you, Jedi Jess, for becoming a deacon in the Church of Mo, of ushering all the new peoples in, making sure they get a seat in our VIP section. And the whole thing is a VIP section. So, thank you so much for being an OG supporter. And it was about 125 miles southeast of Georgetown, Cayman Islands, near the boundary between the North American and Caribbean tectonic plates, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. The North American plate moves in a west-southwest direction at about 20 millimeters annually when compared to the Caribbean plate, according to the USGS. Now, the earthquake occurred at a depth of about 6 miles and triggered the tsunami warnings. Large earthquakes commonly occur in the area, including 10 earthquakes that measured at least a 6 magnitude or larger over the past 100 years. Interesting. Well, that's the thing. If I'm given custody of the dark chocolate, it might not make it to, to where it's supposed to be, because around 3 a.m. is where apparently my diets go to die. Around 3 a.m. is where it's like, it doesn't matter if you have a little snacky snack. So I'm trying to be good. So someone else hold on to the dark chocolate, because I cannot trust myself with it. Because I'm like, it's healthy for you. Again, probably not at biblical, epic, levels of consumption. Now, y'all, I am not effing joking about this. I swear to God, I refuse to live in the end times. Look, I am too irreverent. I am too ridiculous. And I will not, and I repeat, not be effing left behind with damn Nicolas Cage doing another, tribulation movie. I cannot. So y'all need to quit your fussing around and all this BS that's going to bring it back, final form Jesus, because I would just like to be able to rewatch again Once Upon a Time and, enjoy my little happily ever afters and my, 3 a.m. for y'all. Mr. Mo is a king. Now, as I talk about being in the Wonderland and fully out of the twos for the first time in several years, of course, what did I send him out to the Walmart for? Well, it would be brownies with cream cheese icing. Now, as I say, look, it is all about effing balance, and I am not ready to atone as much as I would need to if we are in the end times. So I rest my rant, but this shit is getting suspicious, and I swear to God, if I get stuck here left behind with Nicolas Cage, y'all are gonna hear my ranting from up in purgatory. So take earbuds, because I'm gonna be bitching the whole time. And Nicolas Cage is gonna be like, "What? What is wrong with you? We need to save the world for Christians." And I'm going to be like, no, I RSVP all the no to this. Now, the only way being stuck with Nicolas Cage would be fun is if I make him put on that god-awful southern accent that he did, my honey bear. Whatever the hell that was, and whatever vocal coach gave him that southern accent must be fired directly into the sun. But the only way I will be in a semi-happy state if I am forced to be left behind with Nicolas Cage is if he has to do the Con Air terrible southern accent with the flowy locks. Look, it's a contract. It's the only way I'm going to do the movie. Argentina Canal mysteriously turns bright red and looks like it's covered in blood. Y'all, I'm not living in Revelations. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That is not me. I did not. I gave that up for Lent. It's almost Fat Tuesday. I gave that up for Lent. You can RSVP me no for that. Just absolutely no. Now, the water is raising a red flag. A canal in Argentina has mysteriously turned bright red Thursday, alarming residents who were woken up by its strong odor. The smell woke us up. In the daytime, when we looked at the side of the river, it's completely red and all stained. Avellanda resident Maria de Comis told AFP, "It looked like the river is covered in blood and it's horrible." Now, water samples have been taken from the Sandorini Canal, located in a suburb of Buenos Aires, to determine the cause of the color change, which could be an organic dye, according to the province's Minister of Environment. Look, I don't want to tell you how to run your job as a semi fluffy, sort of deflating chick who likes to buy clothes on sale. But if you're the minister of the environment and your river looks like, well, that, I don't think you're doing your job too well. I mean, call me crazy. And just ew, ew. This irritates me more than anything else in humanity. When you throw your trash just out, just trash, just throw it out your car, no regard for anything, that is the most entitled BS behavior I have ever seen. Just gross, disgusting human trash behavior. Now, residents are blaming local leather and textile factories, which are known to dump dye and chemical waste into the waterway, which flows into the Ria de la Plata between Argentina and Uruguay. Other times it was yellow with an acidic smell that makes us sick even in the throat, a local named Sylvia told the BBC. We've seen the river in other colors. We've seen it bluish, greenish, pink, purplish, with grease on top that looks like oil, the residents say. So just be kind, be good stewards to the earth. I didn't think that was so hard to understand, but apparently it needs all the lessing. Well, I figured I'd end on a happy note, so let's see what we can learn from the couple that has been happily married for 75 years. And here is their hilarious secret to everlasting love. Is it a hammer? Is it a pillow? Is it a gag? It has to be. If it's a fucking kazoo, I'm gonna lose my shit. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. I mean, if it's a flippin' kazoo, I am going to lose my poo. My mouth today, it's gonna get me in trouble. I have a premonition. It is like Miss Cleo is trying to talk to me and realizes my mouth is gonna be, well, it's gonna need redemption today. Zip your lip and keep it zipped. Oh, well, that's the one thing I can't do. And our marriage is toast. Knowing when to shut up is the key to a long and happy marriage. Okay, but how about you're just telling them to shut up? You're trying to be helpful. It seems like a public service announcement. According to a non-degenerate couple from England who reportedly still love each other like newlyweds, an astonishing 75 years after saying I do. Oh, they're so sweet. They're like the couple from Up. I love it. And thank you, Wolfram, so much for my swear jar. I am going to have to go to the Hobby Lobby without children and find another funky, ridiculous jar that we can use as a swear jar because I have a feeling my mouth is going to get me in trouble. And now that I'm not doing ads on the live, I'm less inclined to give two craps in a handbasket, which is terrible. I mean, doggone it. You think I would be like better, but no, no. Apparently, I want a tapestry of curse words just to surround my life. I look classy and I have a mouth like a sailor. Trudy and Alan Tomlinson, 97 and 96 respectively, offered a simple piece of advice when asked about their relationship, which began when the lovebirds first met at a youth social event. Tying the knot in 1949, they're still madly in love over 7 decades later. They say residing together at a senior home they moved to just last year. The secret is learning when to keep your mouth shut, Trudy's told What's the Jam. You can get fed up at times, she admitted, but promise the pair are happy that we still are together. The Tomlinsons moved into Middleton Lodge Care Home in Derby, owned by Avery Healthcare, which partnered with online home care finder Lottie in August of 2024. They say it means a lot to them that they can spend their days together after all this time. We've built a life together and it's wonderful to continue that in such a lovely place. Going through this transition together has made it easier. Now, the couple previously shared their story with the BBC. We've always been together. We wouldn't think of life without each other, Trudy said at the time. It turns out that the Tomlinsons aren't the only long-haul lovers living at the home. They're one of multiple couples occupying what is known as companion suites. designed to keep the duos together while they receive essential care. The number of people who come into homes because they've been widowed makes it a very difficult transition. Manager Joanne Graves told the BBC. The most important thing for our couples is that they're together, and be able to help them do that is a real privilege. This is a No, they don't live in separate rooms. It looks like they have like their own little mini apartment. That's so sweet. And can I say, look, I don't generally do trigger warnings. I think they're ridiculous. We're adults. But for the movie Up, could we get a mother effing trigger warning? Like the depth of emotion and loss and pain expressed in that first 2 minutes is ridiculous. And you guys, I traumatized probably into the priesthood this poor little, ticket guy who was just, there to make sure this big fat pregnant woman did not die. And I'm over here like ugly crying and with a giant, and I do mean giant fetus. Like I was done. Like the turkey baster pop was out. So this boy probably thought my water had done broke and like he was going to have to do a delivery right here. When all that had happened was I was overly emotional, couldn't see my feet, and they showed this beautiful, incredible, selfless love story that they didn't flip and warn me about, and now I'm crying hysterically in the thing. It's not like, again, they could have just warned a pregnant, ridiculously emotional heifer, and I'd have gone and watched Shrek and cried about that too, because it was just a moment. Now, real talk. If you are pregnant, looking to be pregnant, or this possibly happens to you, I'm telling you, towards the third trimester, treat yourself to movie dates. Treat yourself to movie dates. Look, smuggle you in, and I am fully encourage you smuggle you in. You take your big old purse, you smuggle in whatever the hell your pregnant princess ass wants. Like if it is pickled, whatever, like you'd have to take a can opener, no shame. You go to the movies. You take whatever it is that you want to eat, you put it on that big old shelf that you call a belly, and you just relax, okay? Honest to goodness, probably the most relaxed I was in the third trimester was just going to the movies. Now, again, I would do some research to make sure they're not sad because, again, you probably do not want to hysterically scar the little usher boy. But let's get back to the story. I just figured I'd fill you in and again rail against the fact that Up made me ugly cry in like the first 2 minutes, and damn, did I probably just scar the hell out of that little usher. Little usher boy, if you're out here, I did not mean to, but I was not in charge. You see, I had a young feral person living in my uterus. Now, I do not know if his feral hormones crossed over to me, but I was no longer in charge. I was, see, what happens is that your uterus and your hormones take over. You're not exactly a pod person, but you are not the rational thinking person that you usually are. Everything will be dictated by, what you want to eat and what you don't. And thank you. I love it that okay, I'm ending this. I'm going, but y'all, we have all had, if you're a spiritual person, we have all had that pastor that just will not land the plane. Like pastor just the Holy Ghost has moved him and we are not leaving until sundown. Like this is happening. So I'm gonna land the plane. Thank you guys for joining Mornings with Mo, where all of the headlines, true crimes, and shenanigans mix together to make a good morning news. I will see you guys in just a little bit. We will be speed-ish, let's be real, running day 3 of Megan Boswell versus Tennessee. Again, we will be aboard the Petty Express. I will be being fully petty and staying out of my husband's way because I should not play with power tools. At least that's what I've been told. Have a great day. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but carry a can of bitch fire because kindness doesn't mean doormat. Know your worth. Bye, you guys.